Guys, the moment I was waiting for so far this season has finally come. Barcelona are finally on top of La Liga, above Real Madrid, with 1 point difference. Of course, we have 19 points, they have 18 points. Both of us have played 7 games, but seeing Barcelona on top of Real Madrid in La Liga right now, it's so freaking amazing. Like, I'm so happy to see Barcelona on top, and this is a very positive sign that we are going to win the league this season. And of course, we are going to win the league. Like, there's no chance that Real Madrid is going to win the league this season. I mean, you can see the performances of Barcelona and Real Madrid, and you can see that we are so good on the ball that we're going to win the league. That's all I want to say. And of course, Arsnenal making that comeback versus Newcastle at the St. James Park after going 1-0 down and winning the match 2-1, which was also the result for Barcelona yesterday. But yeah, guys, we're going to talk about the Arsenal match later, so make sure to stick around until the end. But before that, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and now let's get started. So guys, Barcelona being on top of the La Liga finally, like after all these match days. Now, it could have been on the top after like match day 2 or match day 3. The only reason why I wasn't on top is because of the draw versus Rayo Vallecano. And the thing is that was keeping me second on the league because Real Madrid was winning every single game that he came across until he made Atletico, of course, and then suffered that 5-2 loss versus Atletico Madrid. And then I, of course, winning the match versus Real Sociedad and putting me on top of the league. But listen, guys, there is one thing that we need to see. That Real Madrid is still not ready to compete for titles. And the reason being is that Real Madrid has, since Xabi Alonso was appointed as manager for Real Madrid, he came across 2 big opponents, okay? PSG in the Club World Cup and Atletico Madrid in the La Liga, which was like 2 days ago. Now, what happened in those matches? Heavy defeats. 4-0, 5-2. Like, it's a sign that Xabi Alonso is not ready for the big matches of the season, okay? And this is the reason why I think that even this season I'm going to win the league with ease. With ease. And of course, we are going to win the league because we're in form. Barcelona hasn't lost a single match yet. The only match that they dropped points was of course, Rayo Vallecano. I'm actually waiting for Real Madrid to go to that stadium and drop points because I'm pretty sure that they're going to do it. But yesterday, guys, the match was amazing. We finished 2-1. Of course, we conceded first. Okay, we conceded first in the 31st minute, and then Koundé made it 1-1 in the 43rd minute, an assist from Rashford. Now, Rashford, guys, I need to talk about Rashford a little bit. Rashford is cooking. Okay, Rashford, even though he's not scoring that much, I don't think that he scored a single goal for La Liga. I'm not pretty sure about that. He has scored goals for Barcelona against Newcastle, but in the La Liga, I'm not pretty sure. But yeah, he is cooking. He provided an assist yesterday. And then, of course, Lewandowski in the 59th minute scored a header. Okay? An assist from Lamine Yamal, of course. Lamine Yamal, who just came back from injury. And just under a minute, he provided an assist to Lewandowski, who controlled the ball pretty well. And then put away a header, making it 2-1. Now, after this, it could have been 3-1, guys. It could have been 2-2 or 3-1. And the reason being is that Takefusa Kubo actually hit the post. And then Barcelona started a counterattack coming towards the Real Sociedad goal. And then Lewandowski hit the post as well. And that was clearly 3-1, guys. That was clearly 3-1. I don't know what Lewandowski did there. Because Lamine Yamal, he put the ball across all the defenders to Ferran Torres, who also had a chance to shoot. But what he did is that he could have thought that, okay, Lewandowski is more open. Let me give the ball to Lewandowski. And this is the understanding that of Barcelona players, which I absolutely love, that they're so freaking, like, they read everything. They're so amazing, bro. The football is so amazing at Barcelona. It's amazing, guys. It's amazing. But of course, he gave it to Lewandowski. And Lewandowski for him was a tap-in. But he hit the post. And there was no even a goalkeeper there. But he hit the post. And then it just, bounced back and forth to the post. And then it didn't cross the line, so it wasn't a goal. But it was clearly 3-1 and a second goal for Lewandowski yesterday. But in terms of possession, guys, we kept a possession of 75. They kept a possession of 25. We We shoot it 23 times, 12 on target. 23 shots, 12 on target. That's the thing about Barcelona that I love so far this season. And even last season, that it's an attacking team. It's a freaking attacking team. They're going to shoot 20 plus shots in every single game. And that's what they did even yesterday. And 8 shots and 2 on target from Real Sociedad. And they're finally on top of La Liga. So that's a very good news for Barcelona. And this is, I think, that everyone was just, waiting for Real Madrid to slip so that we can go on top. And that happened yesterday, finally, in this weekend. Not yesterday, in this weekend. So guys, the Newcastle and Arsenal match, which ended 2-1. Of course, Arsenal making a dramatic comeback at the St. James Park versus Newcastle, which is the most heated stadium on all of England, in my opinion. Now, this match, if you haven't seen it, then make sure that you see it, guys, because it was amazing. If you didn't see this match, then you need to see it. You didn't watch football if you didn't watch this match this Sunday, okay? So this was an amazing match. It was like a definition of Premier League football at its best. But, guys, this match had everything. It had everything. First of all, Arsenal going there, conceding a goal, and then making a comeback, winning at the St. James Park, which is a big thing for Arsenal. Because this stadium, guys, I'm telling you, this is the most heated stadium on England. It's way more, it's even heated than Anfield, in my opinion. Like, Anfield is nothing when it comes to St. James Park. And even Newcastle, when they play at the St. James Park, it's completely different when they play away. Okay, so it was amazing, guys. It was amazing. But guys, let's look at the stats of the game. And then we're going to look at the events of the game, everything that happened in the game, okay? So the stats, 37 possession of Newcastle, 8 shots, 3 on target, and 633 possession of Arsenal, 21 shots and 7 on target. You can see from this that Arsenal dominated Newcastle yesterday. But that wasn't the case throughout the whole game, because as we all know, in the beginning minutes of the game, when it's St. James Park, Newcastle are gonna play football, and after that they're gonna start to slack and do that. And this is something that I was seeing so far this season. They have played 3 big opponents so far in that stadium: Liverpool, Barcelona, and yesterday Newcastle. And all of them, they suffered a loss. Okay, and the thing that I was seeing, that in the first half Newcastle is gonna play very good football, and in the second half they're gonna start to slack. And that's when the opponent starts to, find ways to win. And that's what happened in every single scenario. Versus Liverpool, Barcelona, and also Newcastle, and versus also Arsenal. But guys, the events of the match. In the 15th minute, there was a penalty check for Victor Gyökeres being fouled inside the box versus Nick Pope. Which, in my opinion, guys, I don't know about you guys, but there were angles when it was seeming like a penalty. And then there were angles when it was not seeming like a penalty, because what I saw is that Gyökeres already had the ball to the side, and when he went that way, that's when Nick Pope put his legs in between and then, of course, brought Gyökeres down. I think that was a penalty, guys. I really think that was a penalty, and sort of like a yellow card for Nick Pope, but it didn't happen, so it was canceled. Now, guys, in the 34th minute, Mosquera makes a mistake, which leads Arsenal to go 1-0 down. Newcastle scoring from a corner, from a set piece. Nick Woltemade, of course, the giant himself, scores a header, puts it inside the net. But what a bad mistake from Mosquera. Like, he was trying to pass the ball back to David Raya. And then, of course, he concedes a corner. Like, that's too far for David Raya to run and save the ball, okay? So he concedes a corner. And then, of course, from that corner, and another mistake from Gabriel, like a small touch from Nick Woltemade. And then he goes down to the ground. So that was a poor defense from Gabriel and a bad mistake from Mosquera, which led to the first Newcastle goal in this match. Like, both were bad mistakes, in my opinion. Mosquera's mistake, of course, that was a mistake which led to the corner. But Gabriel, bro, like that small touch that Nick Woltemade puts on his waist, and then he goes down like that. Like, that was like, what? I was kind of surprised at what is this guy doing? Like, a small touch and you're going down to the ground like that. You're a strong defender. Stand up. Stand up with that freaking giant. And then you're going down. It was like, what is this guy doing? But yeah, I mean, the goal standard, because there was a kind of, I think there was a foul check, but it wasn't a foul, guys. Like a small touch, it was not a foul. But yeah, at this point, Newcastle were roaring around the whole stadium, and it continued like this. But also, guys, in the first half, there were a couple of other chances, like, for example, Trossard hitting the post. That could have been a very big goal. And, of course, Eze's big chance, that screamer, that could have been a very big screamer. But the thing is that Nick Pope was very, very keen yesterday, okay? Especially in the first half. He was very, very keen, keeping Arsenal 1-0 down in that game. Guys, in the second half, this is when Arsenal really started to cook Newcastle at the St. James Park. Because in the 82nd minute, Odegaard comes in, and he was the one, I think, who changed the game. Okay? Before that, of course, Arsenal were trying to get back in the game, but they just weren't able to. But he is the one, I think, he was the big reason why Arsenal won yesterday, in my opinion. Okay? Because he came in, and then after just 2 minutes, Merino scores for Arsenal. A beautiful header, crossed by Declan Rice, and then he just connects with it, and he puts inside the net. Now here, there's one thing that I need to say. That what was Nick Pope expecting from the ball? Like, was he expecting, because he didn't react. When the ball was, flying in the air like that, he didn't react. Now I was surprised that how did this guy, he was a very good reaction. He had a very good reaction throughout the whole match whenever a shot is placed or whatever. But in this goal, what was he expecting? Was he expecting that the ball is going to get out of the pitch? Or there's a defender right there in the far post or something? Like, I don't know what happened, but the goal went in. And very, very easily, in my opinion. That was a savable goal. But he didn't save it because I think he was expecting it to go out of the pitch. But whatever. He made it 1-1, Merino. And then after that, there was a call for Gabriel, hand penalty. Like, he had a handball inside the penalty box of Arsenal. Now, I think that it was dismissed because it hit his shin first, and then he hit the hand. So it was kind of like a natural position. If that was La Liga, that could have been a penalty, in my opinion. But this is a very hard league, and this is why they call it the hardest league in the world. Because even the first penalty check for Gyökeres on Nick Pope, like sliding like that and bringing him down, that was also a penalty, but it was dismissed. And this was also a penalty, also dismissed. But anyways, after that, guys, of course, Odegaard, of course, he was cooking. He had a very good ball to Lewis Kelly. The only thing that came across was Botman, or was it Dan Burn or Botman who came across that ball. But it was a tap-in for Martinelli right there. Because that ball to Lewis Kelly, all those people standing there, and then he puts a ball all the way to Lewis Kelly, and he just had to put it back inside for Martinelli to score. But I mean, I'm telling you guys that Odegaard was the reason why Arsenal won yesterday. And of course, in the 96th minute, Gabriel scores the winner. A beautiful corner from Odegaard, and then he scores. He raises above Nick Pope and then scores the winner for Arsenal yesterday. Of course, Gabriel, in my opinion, had a couple of mistakes, but he was performing very well. Okay, after that mistake versus Voltemade, which made the first goal for Newcastle, after that he was performing like a monster yesterday. And then, of course, Arsenal won the match. But I need to say one thing about Rice. Rice, even at the last minutes of the game, he was sprinting. He was defending. He was also one of the reasons why Arsenal won yesterday. And, of course, he had his assist yesterday. And one thing I also have to say about Victor Gyökeres is that the dude is still underperforming, in my opinion. This is like the third biggest match, or I think it's the fourth biggest match of the season for Arsenal since he joined Arsenal. And he hasn't scored a single goal. Yesterday, of course, he had a couple of shots, including that slip in the second half, which I forgot to mention. That slip. Bro, what are you doing? Just shoot the ball. You're slipping, and it's like a disastrous. Like, I don't know what to say about Gyökeres. But so far, I'm not saying that he's going to be a flop. But I just think that maybe it's either himself, he's not ready for the Premier League, or he's not versatile to play in the Premier League, or it's Arteta who doesn't know how to use a striker. So I don't know what's the case, but whatever. So Arsenal won the match like that, but it was a crazy match, I have to say. A crazy match. And now Arsenal are second in the league, 2 points behind league leaders Liverpool. I don't know by how many exact points that they have, but two points difference they have. But they're second in the league. They are starting to be a title contender finally after being second now. I just hope now. Let's just hope that they don't finish second even this season, because now they have a team that they can win the Premier League with. They have a team now. But the match was crazy, guys, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to drop a like if you did. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next video.